We decided to elevate our driveway entrance with a couple of do-it-yourself pole planters. To do this, we picked a spot on either side of the driveway and started digging a hole using both a shovel and some post hole diggers. We then added a wooden post to the hole we just dug, but realized it was still a little too high, so we decided to cut off a little bit more of it using a saw. After placing it back in the hole, we determined it was just the right height. So I held the wooden post in place in the hole after we got it nice and leveled, and then we slowly started packing in the dirt that we previously removed by digging the hole. You don't want to fill the hole completely with dirt. Leave some room for some quick setting concrete on top. This will definitely secure the wooden post and make sure it stays in place. Then, using a watering can, we poured water on top to set it. After setting the wooden posts in place, we decided to stain them a darker color, and then we attached some ornamental hooks on the front of the post. These hooks will have our beautiful hanging baskets attached. This elevates our driveway entrance so much and gives us some instant curb appeal. Another little extra piece we decided to add to the pole planters was a solar-operated light on top. We drilled that in on the very top of the post, and at night it gives off a flame that appears to be flickering, which is a very nice touch. So both day and night, our driveway has a beautiful entrance thanks to these easy do-it-yourself pole planters.
If you have a leaning and cracked mailbox like we do, it's time for an upgrade. The first thing you're going to want to do is cut your 4x4s into 3 lengths, a 65-inch length, 54-inch, and 12 inches. Then take that 12-inch length and attach it to the top of the 65-inch length using those long decking screws. Next, grab those 1x6s and you're going to cut the first 2 pieces into 8-inch lengths. These are going to go over the 2 4x4s that are attached. The rest of your 1x6s you're going to want to cut into about 25-inch length. And then once you have about 5 or 6 of them cut, go ahead and lay them across the 4x4s and use your galvanized nails. Once those are done, go ahead and flip it over, team effort, and rinse and repeat. Attach those 2 8-inch pieces to the top, and then your 25-inch pieces across. Grab some more 1x6s, and you're just going to measure out how much you'll need to trim out your mailbox. So once this was done, we stood ours up using some sawhorses to make sure it didn't fall. And I went ahead and grabbed my favorite cedar stain and stained it to make it look like cedar without the price of cedar. We then grabbed these great solar lights from Dollar Tree and attached those to the top of each side, as well as the house numbers. And then it was time to put it in the ground. So we dug our holes out to about 16 inches of depth, added a little bit of concrete. Then we placed the mailbox in. Again, team effort. This thing is super heavy and it was super hot this day. Once it's in, grab your level and make sure that it is level. Then add your concrete in and then attach your mailbox. Once this is done, you're in the short rows. All you have left to do is adjust the bedding, put your mulch, your pine straw back, and then stand back and enjoy your new mailbox.
We're going to start with 2 bushes, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to take them and I'm going to place them in opposite directions, just like so. I'm also going to take a 3rd bush, and all I'm going to do is snip these down into individual pieces. After doing that, we have smaller pieces, and all I'm going to do is start filling in on the inside by taking these pieces and working them in opposite directions. After working in a 3rd bush, we're going to take a zip tie. You can also find these from our website, and all I'm going to do is secure that with the pointy end towards the surface. But I'm just going to take these stems and fluff them out a little bit to fill in the gaps towards the middle. Now that we have our greenery and flowers all secured, we're going to take our bow and place it right in the middle. And I think this is perfect for Memorial Day. You can also place this on your door. We're using it as a mailbox swag today. We're going to take one side of the tails and bring it to the other side so we have it matching on either side of our mailbox. Keep the other side on the left, and now we can begin fluffing it. And all you're going to do, just to show you guys, is just bend your stems on either side of the mailbox, just like that. And here's how it turned out, you guys. I absolutely love it, and it was so easy.
Is your mailbox looking old, crooked, or just plain boring? Here's an easy DIY upgrade that makes it look brand new without replacing the whole thing. Start by digging a small hole. Slide a sturdy piece of wood underneath. Next, cut several pieces of wood evenly so they all match. Stack them one by one from the front to the back mailbox post. Paint the entire mailbox and post a rich maroon color for a clean, bold finish. You've got a completely refreshed mailbox that looks custom and stands out in the best way.
For my weekend project, I'm going to head down to my local hardware store and I'm going to grab some of these big planters that I got. I'm going to need 4 of them. First thing I want to do though is they got holes in the bottom. So these are drainage holes for when you plant them. And I'm going to cover these up because I am going to be pouring water in. I don't want it to leak. Next step I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put about an inch of water in the bottom, not too much. The reason is when I mix the concrete, I don't want it sticking to the bottom. And I'm only going to use a 50-pound bag of concrete on here. So I'm going to pour the whole thing in, and it's a good thing I'm outside because concrete is really dusty. You want to be outside where you're not going to mix it and get it in your mouth. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and pour a little extra water in there, and then I'm going to start mixing up. Now, I did use my drill and a paddle to mix it up. You can do it by hand. I just happen to have a paddle. The problem is it looks like I mixed too much water, but I actually did it. It is going to dry up pretty quick, so I added a little bit more water, and you want to get a nice consistency there. This is a little bit too much water, but as I kept mixing, it did dry up. The next thing you want to do is stick a pole in. I used a 2x2 fir board to do this. You can use an inch piece of metal conduit if you want. What I'm going to do to keep it level is I'm going to take a couple of scrap boards, I'm going to put them on there, and I'm going to use some clamps on the sides. What this is going to do is squeeze the board, and I can use that to level it inside the pot. First thing you got to make sure, though, is that the pot is level before you level the board. That way it looks nice and even. Once I get that on and it dries up overnight, it's going to be really strong. You can tell by the color change of the concrete. Look at this. It's really strong, and it holds inside the bucket really nice. I'm not worried about this thing going anywhere or coming loose, and it dries more. Next step I did was to make sure I leveled the ground. I want this nice and level, and moving this is really easy. You just tip it to the side and you can roll it in place. No need to carry it. Then on top of the concrete, I'm going to put some white rock. You can do this, or you can put some potting soil and plant some flowers and some little bushes if you want. Next step was to go ahead and drill through the board, and I'm going to add a hook to the top. This is where I'm going to put my string lights on. I'm going to put this in nice, not to poke it out through the other side. And once I get on, it's going to be nice and tight. Now, these string lights I got off of Amazon are really good. This is not glass. They're shatterproof. They're plastic. Those are the kinds that are really good. I'm going to put the hook on there, and I'm just going to start stringing it up and down and across. I'm also going to make sure I don't want, in the high winds, for these to come loose, so I'm going to use a zip tie to hold them in place. Take off the excess, and I'm going to go back and forth across the yard, and look at this when it lights up. It's absolutely beautiful right when the sun is setting. I love it. It looks really good. It was inexpensive, and I was able to make this actually in one day. Just wait for the concrete to dry overnight. It was spectacular. It's great for those cool afternoons in the summer where the family gets together. Here we're making some s'mores and having a great time. And I just hope this inspired you to go ahead and do your own DIY string lights across the yard. Thank you for watching Home Talk, and we'll catch you next time.